I know people like to say that Gen Z fakes mental illness, and this is true to a certain degree. There are a lot of kids on TikTok pretending to have mental illnesses that they don't for clout. However, what I'd say is that if you're faking having a mental health condition, in a lot of cases, that extreme need for validation shows that you have a different mental health issue. 90% of Gen Z has anxiety, 80% have depression, 90% have had burnout in the last year, and close to 90% feel lonely on a regular basis. Half of young men have contemplated suicide, a quarter of Gen Z has contemplated suicide, and 10% of Gen Z has attempted to commit suicide. 40% have long-lasting feelings of lack of purpose and depression. 90% of Gen Z has had their mental health has gotten in the way of their lives and lowers their energy and initiative. As a person who's a member of this target demographic, I can't write this off. Having met thousands of people in my age category, I try to talk to them about their struggles, and this is a genuine, real problem that older people just tend to write off as teens being dramatic. That's not true. This affects the toughest and hardest-headed members of the demographic as much, if not more than the rest. It's really impossible to judge someone's inner struggles based on their outside success. There's a reason Harvard and Cornell have some of the highest suicide rates of any colleges in the country. A lot of Gen Z is just incapable of functioning on any level. As a person who's 22, I know loads of people who are too anxious to take phone calls, go on trips out of their hometown, get jobs, hear contrary political opinions, sleep over at a friend's house, go out to get drinks, and more. Older people might not believe me, but a significant part of Gen Z is completely incapable of functioning in the real world. I don't want to discount the rest of the population's mental health problems. I just want to use Gen Z as a capstone example for the group that has it worse. Guys ask girls to hang out rather than on dates since it's more effective, since going on a legit date is too much pressure. Gen Z is something called situationships, in which you hang out and maybe have sex, but the people involved are too anxious to have a real relationship, which, need I remind you, can be cancelled at any time. I study different demographics, social codes, and cues for fun as a hobby, since my specialty is anthropology, and Gen Z is based around anxiety mitigation in every single way. The future is still ahead of us, and if we try, we might be able to preserve the sanity of the previous society and prevent the most degrading evils which will haunt us until our deaths, and our descendants will feel shame for millennia about.